The word Holden truly resonates with every Australian. Whether or not you grew up in the back of one, or you were bitter rivals on or off the Aussie racetrack, Holden is a staple and icon of Australian motoring. And when they finally built Australia's first locally mass-produced vehicle in 1948, it was a hit, and the Aussies were ready for their very own fleet, and Holden was delivering the goods. But with high influence from General Motors all the way in the United States, Aussies knew the landscape was far different, and they were going to need something here to actually test their cars efficiently to deal with the harsh climate and landscape here in Australia. Thus, the Lang Lang Proving Ground was born.
Only Holden undergoes this grueling round-the-clock testing. That's because GMH have the only full-scale automotive proving ground in Australia. Only Holden is tested like this. It cost more than £500,000 to build Australia's own proving ground. Scientifically designed corrugations, rock beds, the worst road features possible have been built into the GMH proving ground. The facilities and layout are based on the experience gained from General Motors proving grounds in America.
Now, the Proving Ground was first constructed in 1957 by Holden, covering over 2,000 acres, and at a cost of over £500,000, which back then, that was a huge amount of coin. It was used to test every Holden model from the FC onwards, and this facility was top-notch. It had everything a manufacturer would need to test a car here in Australia. And with this facility, it truly did pave the way so that Holden could design, test, and manufacture the right car that Aussies wanted. And throughout the late 50s, the 60s, even the 70s, they got that recipe right, and they were on all-time highs consistently. It really wasn't until the 80s that brought the compact car and the Japanese pressure, because around that time period, money was getting tight, gas was getting expensive, and the V8 large sedan Commodores, they weren't looking as appealing as they did for the past 30 years. Holden simply just couldn't get the small car right. And unfortunately, after decades of government support, in 2017, Holden had to close its doors and say that was it. No more locally made Holdens. And that was truly a sad day. And in September 2020, Holden sold the Proving Ground to VinFast, which was a Vietnamese car manufacturer. They wanted to come to Australia. They didn't end up coming to Australia. And as of today, VinFast still owns the property. And they've been trying to sell it for 3 years. So I'm about to get in my VZ, drive from Melbourne all the way to Lang Lang, Victoria, and we're going to have a look at this place.
So we've just pulled off the highway here onto the road where the old Proving Ground actually was. So we just pulled the VZ off to the side, and as you can see right here, we've got the VinFast sign now. So sadly, the Holden sign's not there anymore, because I would have imagined that would have been a nice big Holden sign at one point in time. But let's go down this road, I guess, and see what else we can find. Interesting to see a VinFast sign here where they don't even sell anything in Oz, so it's weird. And as we're driving down this road, you know, there really isn't anything here, so I think this pretty much just leads you directly into the place. We got a sign just coming up here. Wow. Absolutely Fort Knox, bro. There is a Fort Knox right there. Unfortunately, this place legitimately still is like Fort Knox, and I've tried to contact people. I went to the front gate, and it is like a prison, man, legitimately. So I don't think I'm gonna be able to do any sort of lap with this, which would have been ideal. There's not even really anywhere cool to park, and unfortunately it really is like a secret military base. Like, it was the secret Holden Proving Ground, and I understand there was a lot of secrecy back then, But it is really a shame that it's kind of just locked up and not used to its full potential. I know a few car reviewers are lucky enough to use this place to test their vehicles, but I guess they know certain people that I don't. Just a little bit of history here, guys. Again, unfortunately I couldn't get into the place, but I did make the journey down the VZ, and you know what, nearly 17 years since this thing was made, and yeah, since you've probably seen a VZ out behind this fence. And yeah, we came close, but hey, it's the journey, it's the experience, and you can just imagine. You got to use your brain, you know, your imagination. I know nobody can use their imagination anymore. We have such short attention spans now, but you just got to sit here, look at these views, and just remember the roars, the noises that would have been echoing through this beautiful valley. This really would have been quite a spectacular place to come see and visit in its heyday, when it was being used for what it was meant for. And yeah, just those were the days.
Yes, this proving ground is truly remarkable, and to see the rich history of this place, the culture, the design, the effort, the stories that could be told from this one particular plot of land. And the fact is, this amazing piece of Australian history is just essentially rotting away. It is so sad and soul-crushing, because this place should be open to the public. There should be a huge museum dedicated to Holden. Just the rich raw history that this place provided the country for just legitimately generations. It's criminal. It truly is criminal. And I really do hope, and I really do pray that in the future this place will not get destroyed. It will be reopened to the public, and maybe something similar to what they do in Europe, maybe the Nuremberg, like maybe open it up and allow people to pay to safely, you know, use it. Again, just the rich culture. This place, it is so sad that it's locked away. It is so sad that it is barricaded like Fort Knox, and it is such an amazing piece of history. And again, why we lost our manufacturing, we can talk about. I'll go on and on and on about this, but it is so sad. It's an icon, and Holden, we still love you.
We had to do one. We're in a Holden. It would be sacrilege not to. And tiny little burnout for the Holden lovers. R.I.P. the Holden Proving Ground, guys.